Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Guys, before this video begins, I want to encourage you in these very important days, the days of Dhul Hijjah, to give charity to the Norwegian Masjid, which we together have raised so much money for. Just like many other projects which we together have raised so much money, more millions of pounds probably altogether across the years. And it's been a fantastic thing that we've done that. But we need to be able to do that in these times, because the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that there are no days in which good deeds are better than these 10 days. The 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. This is an authentic hadith. And they said, وَلَا الْجِهَادُ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Not even going to fight in the way of Allah. They said, وَلَا الْجِهَادُ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. That's what he said. Except for a man that goes and basically gets martyred in the way. So imagine now giving charity in this time. It expiates your sins. It raises your level. Wallahi, you will regret it if you don't give to such a noble and honorable cause as this one. Click the link. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you guys doing? There's a man called Kirk, who's an activist, a supposed activist, a high school dropout, and an ultra-crepidarian who's been getting involved in subjects that are way beyond his pay grade. An individual who is a right-wing, not just a right-wing apple polisher, but a Donald Trump apple polisher. An individual who's been stuck in the plantation, the ideological plantation of MAGA, picking the political cotton for Trump, being whipped by Daddy Trump into political and ideological submission, who came to the United Kingdom and instead of engaging with his adversaries in a manner that would befit someone who claims, or at least acts like a debater, has done the same thing as Ben Shapiro, another coward, another weasel who's been weaseling around and running away because he is a pusillanimous from me for many, many years. And this individual here has come to University of Cambridge, speaking to students, just like Ben Shapiro does, the same format exactly. And even then, when he interacts with students, he thinks he's making all these fantastic points. But I've never seen a person who makes so many blunders in such a short span of time. Let's take a look at just one video and come back and respond in kind.
Let's say Hamas was eradicated. What do you think should happen between both the communities in order to bring, peace between both of them and make things better?
Yeah, so just so everyone's clear, the reason why Gaza's under Hamas control is that there was a peace deal that was signed. Israel got out of Gaza in the pursuit of peace. Israel gave up the Sinai in pursuit of peace. Israel gave up portions of the West Bank in pursuit of peace. Mm-hmm. Israel has actually decreased the land size of their nation significantly in the last 40 years. Mm-hmm.
This man has made about 4 or 5 points, and actually every single one of them is false. He says that there was a peace treaty that was signed in 2005, supposedly between Hamas or some other entity that was there at the time, and let's say the Israeli authorities, because otherwise it wouldn't be a peace treaty. But actually this is incorrect. It's factually incorrect, because it was a unilateral disengagement that took place at the time of Ariel Sharon. And in fact, it was a decision that was made to remove settlers who were there in Gaza from the Gaza Strip. It doesn't actually mean that Israel at that point had lost what is referred to in international law as effective military control. They still had and still have effective military control because they controlled what was going into Gaza and what was leaving Gaza. They controlled the airspace, the waters, etc., etc., and so they had effective military control. The second thing he mentioned is the Sinai Peninsula. And of course, this is a very strange thing to mention because it's going back in time now to the conflict with Egypt. And the question to be asked is, at what point did the United Nations, from the inception of the so-called State of Israel in 1948, include the Sinai Peninsula within the perimeters of what is now referred to as proper Israel? That's never been the case. In fact, there was an illegal invasion by the Israelis into sovereign Egyptian land, which was redeemed thereafter by the Camp David agreement in 1978 after the well-known war in 1973. And Anwar Sadat, the then president of Egypt, was negotiating on behalf of that country to get that particular peninsula back. So that's incorrect. You're saying that they gave it up in the pursuit of peace. They took it in the pursuit of expansionism in the first place. And they did so against the agreements and the borders set by the UN even, which we don't even consider to be correct borders for many reasons, which we can speak about afterwards. And then he says the West Bank. Now I want to know in your mind why you think the West Bank in any way, shape or form belongs to Israel. The West Bank is not a territory that belongs to Israel. The West Bank is part of the Palestinian territories. So you're saying they gave something back which didn't belong to them in the first place. And of course, you could say the same thing about the entire region, actually. The whole thing was a sham because of the Balfour Declaration that England, or Britain, I should say, which was a country, a foreign country, promising the land of one people to another people. Weren't you the same patriot that was talking about America? Would you accept that for America? You wouldn't accept that for America, and you, like the rest of the MAGA, servile, submissive slaves, would celebrate the independence of the United States from the United Kingdom. And in fact, in one recent video that he put out, he said that he came to London and then he was so appalled with what he saw. He didn't spell out exactly what he was appalled with, that he basically fell into prostration almost and kissed the floor when he came to the United States. I don't know exactly where did you go in the United States. Did you go to Detroit? Did you go to the shanty towns of Chicago? Did you go to the hillbilly areas where probably your parents are from, and your friends are there, and the rednecks that your compatriots and your friends? Did you go to those areas? A little shotgun there and this and that, Did you go to those areas and then bow down like that? Or did you go to the areas where people were getting shot up or homeless people were needing your assistance? Which area of America did you go to exactly? Or did you go to the metro system, which is one of the worst metro systems in any Western country, in New York? Did you go to that one? Where exactly in America did you feel like you were in such a utopian place comparative to the United Kingdom? I think you're living a utopian delusion, actually. But putting that to the side, what I'm going to say to you is this. You've been running away for too long. You're trying your best to manufacture scenarios just like Ben Shapiro, wherein which you can antagonize, provoke, debate, and control all the variables of a debate with undergraduate students. The only thing that they have in common with you is the fact that both of you haven't graduated yet. In fact, at least they are trying to. You dropped out. But that's another issue for another day. Why not debate somebody who's established in the issues? I challenge you, you coward, buck-toothed coward, hillbilly coward, MAGA coward. Come. And although that you are unqualified and you have no expertise in the area, and you're a nobody when it comes to Islam, the religion you're speaking about, you're an absolute nobody when it comes to Gaza. You have no formal qualifications, no expertise, nothing. I don't mind putting you under my foot just like you're happy for Daddy Donald Trump, Daddy Diddy Donald Trump, to put you under his foot, his MAGA foot, and whip you and the rest of the MAGA boys into submission. That's all I have to say, you coward. And if you have the bravery for it, I'm ready. And that's all I have to say. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.